Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Abigail Davidson, financial strategist, business incubator, founder of the Line Entrepreneurs Club, and she blends soulful money management with practical, blissful business growth, helping visionary founders move from chaos to clarity with aligned financial strategy. Welcome to the show, Abigail.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll talk about how one can use soulful strategy for business growth. But before we learn more about this, let's learn a bit more about your background, your journey, so that people know who they are listening to.
Well, I've been the owner of my own business, Old Woods Business Services, this is my 10-year anniversary this year. So I primarily do accounting for small to mid-sized businesses. I have a small team behind me. And most recently, through the experience of, being the accountant for all of my clients, I've come to the realization, especially since COVID, that people feel very alone in their journey. So me included, I live in a very rural part of the US, and I decided to create an online community so that we can all kind of come together and intentionally put ourselves around people with common goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's understand it. So you talked about aligned entrepreneurship. What is this aligned entrepreneurship?
So it's that idea of putting yourself around people who are going to support you in your growth. Sometimes when you start a business, you might have friends or family that is fearful for you and you hesitate to make big decisions because of it. And you really need a community around you that's going to push you to make the hard decisions, hire the big, marketing firm, or hire the accountant, or, sub out roles in your business so that you can grow the business that you love and have people around you that are going to build you up while you do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you call yourself a spiritual CFO. Means, why do you do so?
I follow my intuition, and I do a lot of study of manifestation and energetic alignment. And even on a small, with a small client, from small to large, there's always energetic clogs in the wheel, especially once I start with them. For example, I don't know my passwords and I'm locked out of all of my accounts. That's a great start to, okay, so you've got some energy blockages that are going on, and I can tell. And if you can't get in, step aside, I'll help clear that up, and then we can allow the money to flow in and out easily. So
Absolutely.
It's little things like that.
Right, Abigail. So if one has to understand exactly what you are trying to achieve, how should they understand it? Means a business is about profit, and you want to think them from their souls. How is it easy for them to calibrate this part?
It's not extremely easy, but it requires attention and care. And if you notice that, you'll pick up on little things as you go along, and it will become easier to identify. And it starts with the decision making and following your intuition, and doing things scared a lot of times will keep you in alignment with your higher power, God, source, your higher self, whichever name you call it. Just staying in alignment with that. So it could be small things, again, like the password, or it could be hiring the $10,000 subcontractor that you're so nervous about, but it's going to make the difference in the growth of your business. Those are those spiritually aligned decisions.
Right. So how do you exactly help such entrepreneurs? What are the things that you do that you can, this particular business? You talk about your Aligned Entrepreneurs Club. Help us understand also in that backdrop.
So for me, it all starts with the numbers, the income and the expenses. So you can really drive a lot of decision making from there. But then tying in the Aligned Entrepreneurs Club, again, some of those big decisions are really scary, or sometimes just taking off and starting is really scary. So being in a membership, a tight-knit community that is curated with other people like you, either somewhere at the beginning of their journey or well on their way of the journey, you have like a board that you can go to with your questions or your anxieties, your fears, and they can help you work through them. So you might have your data, you might have your income statement, and okay, this is one thing I have to do, or this is one thing I need to stop doing, but it's really hard to do. You can go to your community and say, here are some challenges I'm facing. Do you have any advice for me?
Right. Can you give some examples how things work on the ground so that people can understand this better? What is it that people join uh, your club, if you put it that way, and how is it that they benefit out of that? What is it that they can expect? Even masterminds are almost like that, but yours is not a mastermind, if I understand.
Yeah. So to join, you would go to my website, oldwoods.co, and there's a link there. And then it starts with, we're launching in May, and I'll be traveling during the first call. So we're doing it. There will be a masterclass once a month hosted by me. There's also feature highlights of members inside the group. So it gives everybody an opportunity to share their own expertise, because I only bring my life experiences to the table. And within the community, I want everybody to be able to get an opportunity to share their expertise. And then there's a WhatsApp group 24/7 so that you can go and say, hey, this is something I accomplished today, or hey, this is something I need some backup on or an opinion on, or I'm struggling with this employee, how do I handle it? And then there's also going to be pre-recorded yoga classes, meditations, and then other little goodies that I'll drop throughout. So I have a master class that I've pre-recorded for anybody who has signed up before we do our first live class on May 12th.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the business community part.
Yeah.
How should one get the help of the right sort of business community for their business? Because joining just any random community will not help. How do you tell them, okay, this is the community that you have built is right for them? How should one evaluate a community, especially if you are wanting to scale up your business?
That's a great question, and also really important element. So practice makes perfect, for one. So finding local in-person communities, or I host a weekly networking call on Eventbrite. And that really helps people, first of all, just get used to being in a community, because I think that we've lost a lot of that in the last few years, where people are used to just solo riding through life. And you definitely want it to feel comfortable, and you want to feel comfortable talking. You don't I'm not looking for members who are just going to join and silently watch from the sidelines. This is an active community. So if that's something that scares you a little bit, get out there, get online, start chatting with other people, and start to figure out what your values are in a community. And sometimes that's not always about business development. Sometimes the first step you need is personal development. So, search around and look there, but I'm happy to help answer any questions too that one might have. I recently, just to get my own feet wet, because again, very rural Maine, USA, I live on a farm, and so I don't have a very big physical community around me. So I started my own community on Eventbrite. Sometimes you have fear, or the ego is saying, oh, don't go, don't do it, you're tired today. And the key ingredient is to show up even if you're anxious or scared or tired or whatever it may be. And I'll tell you, showing up on a weekly basis consistently has developed this little Eventbrite. You know, my first one, I had 1 or 2 friends only, and now I have 150 people signing up every week and 20 people showing up right in the first 5 minutes. And then I kind of, if you're more than 20 minutes late, I won't let you in because you've missed the good part of the events. And I want to keep it very intimate, and we have discussions on who you are as an individual so that we can get to know one another. So it's not like a pitch yourself the whole time.
Absolutely. So I want to understand from you about some of the challenges that these entrepreneurs face. If you can give some idea on that.
As far as community or just in general, or?
Yeah, even community wise also, when they come to you, they come with specific problems because they are passing through challenges in their own business, and they are looking to get some help from like-minded people, aligned entrepreneurs, as you say.
Yeah, so sometimes a common thread is that, oh, I'm nervous and I don't want to show up. That's a common one, and therefore they don't show up and they never kind of excel to that next level because they're nervous to show up. Another one is, they might have issues with their sales pitch, or they might have issues setting boundaries with customers and clients. People want to take advantage of their time and then not pay the rates that are requested, or not understanding a balance sheet and P&L and the difference between the two, profit and loss. There's all sorts of problems that are fun to discuss when you're around the right community. I could think of a million.
Absolutely. So when, if you can tell, when is this community that you are launching? When will that be active, and what is the best way? I know you mentioned about it, but I just to put much more stress on that, tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah. So our first live class will be May 12th. The subject is on becoming iconic. So it's really about making those big decisions and repeatedly doing it until they become less of a intimidating decision to make. And so May 12th, it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my time zone. I will be in Indonesia for the first call. So that'll be a fun and exciting, paradox for those who are in the States still or anywhere else. I already have a few meditations in there. So if anyone does sign up, there's just one welcoming to the group. I've got journal prompts ready to go, just to start to work your mind and get your mindset on the right page and open up to be ready to receive all of the information and all of the growth.
Okay. And what's the website that you said?
Oldwoods, OLDWOODS.co. And it's under the resources tab.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.